centers are not done yet. The Philippine Chamber of Telecommunications Operators warn the version passed by the bicameral committee could lead to national security vulnerabilities, weaken regulatory oversight, and destabilize the telecommunications sector in the long run. With us now for more is PCTO Vice President Attorney Roy Ibay. Good to see you, Roy. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kathy. Good morning to our televiewers. Isang magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
So you've heard it there, 100 days into office, the Secretary himself speaking about the KP bill. How is it that the final version of this bill still had what the PCTO terms as unresolved risks when it landed the BICAM committee level?
Yes. First of all, the PCTO would like to clarify that first and foremost, the PCTO supports the call of the President for universal connectivity. We support the Digital Bayanihan program of the President. And of course, we support his call for a fast, reliable, and affordable internet. Our reservations is that, as I was listening to the recap of your interview, snippets of your interview with the Secretary Henry, we agree though that there is a 2-year safeguard in terms of the security audit, especially for the satellite technology. But actually, this has been watered down in the BICAM. In the original third reading copy of the Senate, this was only for after 1 year. These players would have to already undergo a cybersecurity certification. So medyo na-watered down pa siya from 1 year naging 2 years. And we feel that extending this by another year, in fact, yung 1 year nga dapat immediately before they even start to commence, they should undergo cybersecurity certification already. Kasi alam mo, I've been working with the CICT for the CICC for the past 2 years already, and every day there's a cyber war happening and ongoing. So a single day that passes that makes your network porous and very easily to be penetrated by malactors and threat actors can cause a lot of havoc. In fact, we all know that for the past 2 years, a lot of government institutions have already been hacked. A lot of private sector companies also have already been breached. And this has caused not only millions, but billions in terms of damage, reputational damage to our country, and really a lot of unaccounted damage also to our economy.
Roy, to your point on the watering down, na mas na-watered down pa, what insights can you share on the process? Because as I spoke with the Secretary himself, he said you had gone through rigorous consultations.
No, actually, there were 2 versions. First of all, what we would like now that the Secretary updated that the bill is actually now in Malacanang awaiting either the President's signature or veto, or he may just let it lapse into law. Our appeal is like similar to the SIMREG bill when it was first brought to the past President Duterte's attention in 2022. It was vetoed then by President Duterte because the first version, which was submitted to him then, back then, included that you had to register your social media profile. So it was not a very good version. So he vetoed it and asked Congress to immediately just rectify, clean it up, and then it was sent back again. And then the second version was already signed. Our apprehension is that the 2 versions, the Congress version was the version which since the 16th Congress we've been working on. And when the Congress passed it, this was brought up to the Senate. But this was not the version that the Senate took up. The Senate took up a later drafted version by the NEDA and the Philippine Competition Commission, which was totally different than the one that Congress passed.
So now that it's on the President's desk,
version,
Roy, what would you like the President to do then? Ngayong nasa lamesa na ng Presidente, ano ang gusto mong mangyari ng PCTO?
Kasi Kathy, ang veto kasi pag regular bill, hindi pwedeng line by line yan eh. Sa budget lang kasi pwedeng gawin yan, tsaka sa mga tariff bill. So, ang pwede lang gawin talaga ng Pangulo ay i-veto niya entirely, send it back to Congress, at sana naman, this time, makasama naman kami sa proseso at makonsulta. Kasi kami naman yung talagang mga stakeholders na maapektuhan talaga nitong konektadong Pinoy Bill. So, ang sinasabi naman namin, hindi naman masama entirely, but it could have been better if they could have considered also inputs from the sector itself, from industry, para naman napaganda lalo.
Correct. At ang nasabi nga ni Secretary Aguda, hindi lang to kasama doon sa excerpt kanina, ano? Sabi niya, he's pledged to give the PCTO some wiggle room in the implementing rules and regulations, and he promised collaboration with all stakeholders.
Well, actually, we all know, no, the IRR really cannot rise above its source. Eh. So, if a law has some flaws, then an IRR cannot really cure whatever flaws that a law has, no, in entirety. So what we ask really is, if it's still possible for the president to consider our plea that it be sent back, redrafted to include also our inputs. Oo, kasi yun nga, aside from yung national security, we feel that it introduces a lot of unfair rules. Eh. For example, one section talks about technology neutrality, but then again, it opens up or it gives so much preference to satellite because in the law, it says that the satellite providers don't even have to register, they just have to file their agreements, whatever agreements they have with the DICT and the NTC, and they don't even have to coordinate as regards to spectrum. And this could be a violation of our international treaty on radio regulations, which we are signatory to with the ITU. And again, the ITU provides that any satellite should do local coordination with the regulator, but in this law, it's absent. It doesn't provide that. In fact, they removed the third reading version of the Senate provided that they had to coordinate with the NTC. In the final BICAM, they even removed that. They removed that requirement that they coordinate with the NTC as regards spectrum provision.
Whether or not it's vetoed, Roy, babalikan din natin, no, the spirit of this bill is really internet for all, for everyone, even doon sa mga remote areas, sa mga geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. How would you address then what the Secretary had said, that stiffer competition could be only good for the consumer in us all?
Again, let me clarify. We are totally in support of competition. We are totally in support of, again, better universal connectivity, faster, reliable, affordable internet. What we are calling for is the same rules, same protection, same safeguards for all. Because, for example, how can you even say that it is the same when in the transitory provision of this law, it provides that duly enfranchised players will retain all their rights and privileges except any provision that will address data transmission. So, tinanggalan kami ng rights and privileges over whatever inherent provisions that is contained in our franchise, basta data transmission. Kasi this bill daw will now govern data transmission. That is unconstitutional because a franchise is already considered a property right, and removing this inherent granted and already enjoyed privilege of franchise holders will be rendered ineffectual or ineffective under the new KPBL.
All right. Well, update us na lang kung ano pong nangyari doon sa nasa President's desk on the Konektadong Pinoy Bill. Thank you so much, Attorney Roy Ibay
Thank you,
of
Kathy.
PCTO.